All right. I just pressed record on my camera. And in this video, I want to talk to you about why anyone over 40 must start a YouTube channel. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's jump into it. As always, I got my little phone here with a couple of things I want to go over. This one's a big video to me. Now that the holidays are coming closer to an end, New Year's is on the horizon, things like that, and happy holidays to all. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because my birthday is literally right after New Year's. And as I'm approaching age 39, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm getting a little older. You know, I'm doing this content creation thing, and I'm really thinking about like me pushing 40. And to be honest with you, a lot of people in this space and myself in the beginning, I was like, maybe I'm too old to, start creating content on YouTube. And, sometimes even my son sometimes says things that kind of made me think, damn, am I getting that old? But nevertheless, I want to talk to you about these things and to let you know that it's not too late. Things you can do. Let's jump into it. So the first things first, like being older doesn't mean that you can't do things. And it's you're already experienced a lot. So for instance, life has already taught you a lot. So you have a lot of experience, whether it be different jobs that you had, different skills, you've seen things, you've learned from mistakes, and now you can be discerning to decide to want to do something like creating content or pushing a business or sharing things. I seen somebody who was a lot older, doing content around being a mechanic, and they took their wisdom being young as a mechanic in a business and then creating their own business and pushing it on YouTube. That's just one example. There's tons of examples on how your experience throughout your life can be expunged to YouTube. So if you're someone who has a lot of experience, and if you're over 40, you definitely have tons of experience in life and you can share that message on YouTube. And I feel like that makes you at an advantage because now you can tell all those stories. And some people who's in the process of trying to figure out the same thing or learn the same thing, you could share that and they could take advantage of it. All right, let's move on to the next one. And this is for me as well. All these things I'm thinking to myself, like off the cuff, like these are things that I should have done or could have done and started YouTube in my 20s, my teens. And, funny enough, teenagers, people in their 20s, they're teens or whoever, they're not the only ones who are on YouTube, funny enough. I was looking at my analytics and I realized like a lot of people in the ages of 35 and older, 25 and older are watching my videos. And I appreciate that. But what I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of people that don't get started or get serious in content creation till they're like 30 or 40. So many creators don't succeed until they've reached that age. And it's very interesting because like, I would think because the social media world out there, like teenagers, I see a lot of successful teenagers, people in their 20s, super successful, but majority of them are of the age of 30 and 40. So don't be afraid to create content. Don't be afraid because you're, in the ages of 30 or 40 that you cannot create. That's completely the total opposite. You are at this point where you've learned so much and you've got experience. I laugh because it's kind of a funny thing. Like it doesn't matter what age you want to create, you can create content. You can be 30, you can be 40, you can be 50, 60, it does not matter. But a lot of people have garnished success in their 30s and 40s creating content on YouTube. So don't worry about the age. It does not matter. All right, let's move on to the next one. You should focus on your niche. Your niche, the value you provide, the business that you want to create, the experiences throughout your life, whether it's travel, whether it's finance, whether it's fitness, whether it's automotive, whether it's you work on hair, you do hair, whatever it is that you do. I've seen people work on YouTube, like literally work. I've seen people deliver packages on YouTube and share their experiences and talk about the challenges, the opportunities, their wins, like deliver UPS packages, FedEx packages, Amazon, whatever it is. I've seen people do Uber Eats. It doesn't matter. I've seen, this one is a favorite to me. I've seen somebody literally take a lawnmower. They have their own groundskeeping business, and they go around helping people out, upkeeping their lawns, their properties. That's another, you can do that and film that while you're creating, while you're working. Create while you're working. You can use that as the backbone. So it's your niche. If you focus on something that you're really good at, you can narrow in a niche accidentally and continue to create content easily, no matter what age you are. It could be 30 or 40, 50, 60, does not matter. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, as I'm doing this video and a couple of my videos, I feel that I'm in the how-to space, if you will. But doing videos like this, how-to videos, they're not going away. How to change a tire, how to change oil, how to make YouTube videos. These things are in high demand. Every time somebody younger wants to figure out how to do something and they try to leverage social media to make them at an advantage, you can create a video to cater to that. There's so many things that you are, and I always talk about this, you guys are all experts at something. You guys and gals are experts at something. Take advantage of that. How-to videos are continuously in demand. And let's say, for instance, I'm trying to figure out how to build a computer. I would literally go on YouTube, and I did this before. I would say 5 or 6 years ago. That's how I got into building PCs. I just went on YouTube, watched somebody build a PC step by step, did the play and pause, checked everything out, followed up, and then course corrected it depending on which computer I'm building. And that's just one broad example. There's tons of those out there. Educational videos are valuable. And that means if you are experienced in your 40s or 30s, you could then share that experience and then create a how-to video on how you can get better at it, or how someone else can get better at it, if you will. All right. Now, this is for all those people, even myself, who are scared to be in front of the camera. I was scared to be in front of the camera, but being in front of the camera and sharing your experiences is relatable, and is also, it builds this great trust around your audience. As you figure out your niche, and as you get past this nervousness on talking in front of the camera, and trust me, it gets easier. I still get nervous doing this, but once I'm in it, this is why I like not scripting. Once I'm in it, we're already 7 minutes in, y'all. And this is a perfect segue. Do me a favor, drop a like on the video if you're getting value. Subscribe, man. I really appreciate you. But seriously, once you get into the flow of finding your niche, doing more videos in front of the camera, figuring out what works for you, figuring out like the scenes and how you want the camera and things like that. And I'll get into that a little bit later. You become more relatable and more comfortable. And that's important. Building that trust and that relatability. Your audience will gravitate to you based on their experience and your experience. Especially being a little bit older, you can share your wins and your losses and everything in between your life that you faced. Continue to share that. It's important. It's not something that can be frowned upon. You've learned a lot. You could teach someone tons of things that you've experienced throughout your life. Let's move on to the next one. Knowing, so this one aligns with where I'm at right now. Trying to know, let me read it. Know your goals and how you want to create. Now that I've reached one plateau, I need to continue to progress. And I want to create videos. I want to continue to get better. I have some goals. Like, I want to make a website. I want to be able to build a brand. I want to sell products. I want to do things that I'm passionate about. Let's say, for instance, I like to drink coffee, right? And in my mind, let's say quickly, I'll do this off the cuff. My middle name is actually Storm. And what I want to do is if you didn't know that already, that's how the channel got started. But it's to take maybe my name and put it on a brand, let's say Storm's Brewing, and make coffee and have a website so people could then find and buy coffee. And I could connect with people that either are growers or people who make a community in the website for people who drink coffee, things. That's just one idea, right? Knowing what you want to do as far as your next step. Let's say, obviously you want to get your watch hours, your subscribers, that's all going to come. But after you do that, building a website, what do you want to do with the brand? Do you want to change things over time? Eventually I may want to change things around how I do on the channel. But I want to keep it still honed in on the goal, and it's to motivate people on creating and getting past that first step. Knowing goals, set some realistic goals. And it doesn't have to be, I want to get 1 million subscribers. You can do that, but we have to kind of jog before we start running. So keep that in mind. Set some goals for yourself. It's healthy. And since you're in that age of 30 or 40 or even 50 or 60, you'll be more discerning, and you'll know how to be assertive on what you want to do next, right? And that's a benefit. Some people don't have that, and you could share that. And maybe people that are a little bit younger, you can share that and have them do the same thing, or kind of get on the ball earlier and inspire them. All right, let's move on to the next one. Oh, I just dropped my phone. YouTube, you got to think about YouTube like long-term, right? It's not, I know that someone may have gotten X amount of views, X amount of subscribers. You want to play the long game. You're on a path. Your hill is not the same as mine. However, you can take and share or gain those tools or those experiences through somebody else, right? Or you can, how would I say this? I'm using a train of thought. Forgive me. This is what happens when you don't script. But you can launch. Think about it like this. YouTube is the long game. You'll build an audience, even if you're 40 or 30 or 60 or whatever it is, you'll gain an audience over time. Think about it as the long game. That's what I'm trying to say here. Think of the long game. It's not going to be right away. And I learned that. Like, it took me a year, and I'm blessed. I'm just a unique case. It doesn't always happen that way, but it can if you be positive and you're passionate and you're consistent. Think about the long game. All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, thinking about income, I know people think about monetization and things like that. There can be some real income that can be made, whether it's through your personal business, whether it's through YouTube AdSense, or whether it's through another thriving business, or if you're a teacher, if you're good at teaching things, right? You could create a community, an online community, to then teach somebody outside of YouTube, or even working with brand deals. You never know. A sponsor can reach out and want to sell you product. Well, not sell you products. Well, have you show their products so that way they can sell it through your YouTube community. Real income can be garnished, but think about it like this. If you're in YouTube for the money, it's going to take a long time. It's not going to happen right away. And it's realistic. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not expecting to get 1 million views on a video, but if I do, that would pay me pretty well, but I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to build something eventually to make money. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen right away. And that's the reality. I don't want to dishearten anybody, or if you're in it for the money, it's time to lock in and grind, because you can build platforms like an online website and things like that could then push you in front of people who are interested in your services, your brand, or if you want to drop merch. There's tons of different ideas you could do to generate revenue. And I've seen people online do it successfully. I know some friends have done it successfully too, but take your time with that, because it does take time. But what I'm saying is align that with your lifelong passions. If it's something that you want to do lifelong, try to align that around your brand, so that way you don't get burnt out, you don't get tired. Because when it's something that you're passionate about, it doesn't feel like a job, and you don't want to turn that into a job, because then, you're not going to like it. Be honest. All right. Now, this is the biggest one. I talk about it in every single video. Consistency, not perfection. I'm telling you, no matter how old you are, consistency is going to help. You don't have to be perfect. It's one of those things that I try to tell every single person I talk to about YouTube, even outside of the platform. You have to think about consistency. Don't try to do it perfect. Do it messy. Do it when you're bright-eyed and just you have a camera in your hand. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Just do it because you want to do it. Do it consistent. Do it when you're tired. Do it when you don't have any ideas. Because everything I do here, I brainstorm. I come up with the thumbnail. I come up with the title. I just literally sit here and I try to figure out what can I do. You know, I do market research. I align with my audience because that's gonna help. Once I see that this is something that I would align with someone who's creating, or motivating them to create, I just come up with the idea and I try to make the video. Do it consistent. Don't do it perfect. Perfect is hard. I've learned that early on. That's why I don't do scripts, because I felt like I was trying to read off of a teleprompter as a news anchor, and that's not a job for me. Anyhow, let's move on to the last one. And this one is an important one because I know once you did all these things and you thought about it, like, all right, now I need the tools to create. This last one is easy. An Android phone, an iPhone is good enough to get started. I'm telling you, doesn't matter what kind of phone you have. At this point in 2025, going into 26, all the phones have 1080p, and a lot of phones, or 90% of them, have 4K something. So it'll be 4K 25 or 30. You can use the tools that you have. Use this phone, or the phone you have in your pocket right now. If you're watching this video on a phone, you can use that to create. And I'm telling you, I know a lot of people think they need to get a prosumer camera to start. They need the best lighting. They need the best. Focus on your phone and creating. A lot of these phones have these noise cancellation things to kind of help you create and not have all the noise, or find a spot like in your car, in your office, on the floor in your house, stack it on some books and press record. Trust me, don't worry about the gear, worry about creating and being consistent, like I said before. Anyway, I appreciate you guys and gals for watching this video all the way to the end. If you made it to the end, thank you so much. Also, check in the community. We still have the giveaway still going on. It's going to be announced on the 31st. And check the rules so that way you can get locked in and get an opportunity to win a DJI Osmo Action 4. It's a mouthful. Camera. I'm giving it away. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. Do me a favor. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.